Women over 35 have hit the wall. This is true and untrue at the same time, and let me explain why I say this, okay? For my professional expertise, I have worked with hundreds of women, and I have worked with a lot of women over the age of 35. Now, there's a group of those women who have absolutely no issues with dating, no issues with encountering men who want to be with them, who want to commit to them, who want to be serious about them. Then you have another group of women who have a very difficult time with those exact same things. Now,
Well, see, I guess my biggest thing is I don't think that most women have an issue with finding a guy that would actually want to be with them in the long term. I think that some women have an arrested development where they never grow out of a phase in their life where they think they have an abundance of options. And because they can maintain a certain lifestyle for themselves via going to work, they think that they're just going to wait until they're 36 and then some guy, the ideal guy, is just going to come and scoop them up. So oftentimes I don't think that it's actually, like in terms of the wall, I don't think that it's an actual spot where there are a lot of women that can't get a man that's going to be with them in the long term. I just think that it's a certain level of arrested development that once you hit a certain age, and usually that age from what I see is around 30 years old, where men are just not going to be able to deal with your level of delusion anymore. So if you're still looking for these guys to come save you, they're just never going to come. And oftentimes you'll see that there are some women who believe that they're so much better than the average man that they rather stay single and work a job their whole life than to be with the average man. And for those women, those are the women that are hitting the wall. Because if she's saying that she's a dating coach, if there are women that don't have an issue with finding dates, why are they consulting with a dating coach? It's probably because those women aren't getting the man that they want or that they feel like they deserve, even if they don't actually deserve that man. I think that there's a level of female delusion going on where women are looking for this guy that they think is going to come save them, and the guy just doesn't even exist.
I want y'all to remember that. The thing that young women have on their side is youth. So women in their
That's
early
true.
20s, mid 20s, you know what I'm saying? Even like this 20s period, but especially like the early and mid. They are young, they're supple, right? They're impressionable, right? They don't have certain baggage that older women have. And because of their youth, and especially because they're attractive, they don't have to be so smart. Right? They don't have to have, certain levels of integrity. They don't have to have a high standard of character because they have youth on their side. And all of us as women have gone through this process of having youth on our side. So if you were to put a woman who is 25 in the same room as a woman who is 35, and these women have a lot of the same things, so maybe the same height, same weight, same physical appearance, so on and so forth. And both of those women have bad character, bad personality. Both of those women are not easy to be with. If a man had to choose, like, hey, I have to choose a woman, he's likely going to choose the younger one. However,
Well, of course, because oftentimes men in that age group are still looking for women that are fertile. And when you talk about physical appearance and beauty in general, oftentimes what you're looking at are just indications of fertility. Like when you look at clear skin, longer hair, flourishing hair, all of these things are just things that signal to men that you're a fertile woman. So when you're talking about youth, it often has to do with fertility. And when you're talking about a man who wants to start a family, maybe he's hitting his financial stride, maybe he has a few more resources, he's in a spot where he's a little bit more at peace with his own current circumstances, and now he's looking to build on that with the family. You're going to be looking for somebody who's more fertile, of course. That just makes sense to me. So, yeah.
let's go back to what I was talking about initially, where I said there are two categories of women over 35. One that has absolutely no issues with men. Men will still marry them. Men still want to be with them. And the ones who a man would not spit on them if they were on fire. The reason for that is they have bad character. They have a bad personality. They don't have the wisdom. They don't have the intellect. They don't have the things that they should have at their age.
Exactly.
They make life hard, not just for themselves, but the people around them. Then we want to add the fact that they are out of their prime. They're out of the typical baby making ages.
Exactly. And if you want to find something as a woman that's going to be able to get you the man that you want, be the place in the world where he can find peace. Every man, their entire life is war, is complete competition against other men for resources every single day, every time we go out into the world. And all we want is a person to come home, to have a place of peace with, that appreciates us for our sacrifices. That's all we want. And a guy will literally give you the shirt off of his back if you show him that you appreciate him for it. The only issue with certain women that she's talking about that have bad character is they don't believe that they have to stroke a man's ego, because they believe if they have to stroke a man's ego, that puts them in a place where they're underneath the man. And they want to be equal to or above the man. So they want to be in this competition where the man has to handle them instead of being the place of peace that the man gets to come to for serenity. For you get what I'm saying? Like his place where he gets to go to have that peace of mind that men just can't find anywhere else. If you want a man and you want to be able to keep a man, be the place where he goes to find peace. And oftentimes that peace is just going to be a sense of boredom, a sense of routine, a sense of keeping things clean, keeping things smelling good. That's his place of peace, a place that he can't find anywhere else. That's his place of peace. And if you want a man to uplift and put him in a position and let him reach his highest potential, give him a place that after he goes to war with the world, he can come back to where he can find peace.
So yes, women in that category have hit the wall. But the women in the category who know themselves, who take care of themselves, who don't have bad character, who's a pleasure to be around, who don't take nobody's shit, but also is respectful.
Exactly.
Those women,
that's what it is.
Over 35 will never have a problem. Men will still gravitate towards them, because a man over 35, if he's a high caliber man, he typically doesn't want a younger woman, because she does not have the wisdom, she does not have the life experience or the conversation that would even excite him.
I think this depends heavily on if he's already procreated. I think if a man is still looking to start a family, he is looking for a woman of fertile age. I think this has heavily to do with if he's still looking to build a family, or if he already has a bunch of kids all over the place and now he's looking for somebody to help him take care of his kids. Those are two totally different things.
Is even something you'd be interested in. So ladies, if you're over 35 and you don't want to hit the wall, be a better person. Stay safe. Baby, let me tell you something. See, the video that I posted about being 35 and hitting the wall and my perspective on that from my professional expertise, I absolutely expected the Passport Bros. I absolutely expected the Kevin Samuels Co. I absolutely expected the Podcast Boys, okay?
That's me.
But see, what I did not expect in such a high volume were men coming into the comments saying stuff like this.
To hell with age. We want peace, freedom, companionship, and cooperation from assets who bring life to our purpose, and wise counsel from the throne room of Yah. We looking for the one thing age has nothing to do with. It's peace. Age was not the priority for men. Mentality was. I'm over 40. I actually want a woman 35 and up, but it's so hard. But if you look at these profile pictures, you're looking at guys that seem a little bit older than 35, so they're still dating a few years down, which is what you typically see when men are looking for women. And by the way, you see women that are looking for guys that are typically a few years older. So it's not a surprise to me that some of these guys are saying, I'm over 40. They probably already have a family or probably already have kids, and now they're finally looking to settle down, so they're looking for a woman who's 35. But if you're looking for men who don't have kids already and they want to start a family, if you're looking at those men, I guarantee you it's going to be different. But yeah, as men get older, we start to value peace more.
Refreshing. You see, me, I like to come at topics with a practical, logical lens, not trying to bash one group or another, but just being very honest about what I see based on either my personal experiences or my professional experiences. But when you touch on topics like these, where people tend to get in their feelings about, you get a lot of negative comments. But the fact that so many men were saying, listen, I don't care how old she is. So many men saying, listen, I'm 40, I'm 35, I'm 45. I don't want no woman under 35. I want me a woman that I could relate to. A woman that can bring me peace. A general consensus, ladies, was peace. And yes, I know before y'all go in the comments saying it, well, if he want peace, he got to bring me peace. Well, duh. Something I feel like I've been teaching for years is discernment. If a man is not bringing you peace, then you need to go your way. But if you have a man in your life, baby, that is bringing you peace, that's giving you the things that you need, if you're looking for a provider, he's providing for you and doing all that nice stuff that you want. Baby, be that man's peace. Baby, if you have a leader, okay, submit to that man. Baby, if you got a man that will bend over backwards for you, if you got a man that will put his life on the line for you, there should be absolutely nothing that you are unwilling to do for him. Within reason, okay? I'm not saying that we're not going to experience difficult times, but baby, because of the foundation that we built, we know how to weather that storm. Ladies, when you find a man like that, it is absolutely okay to be his peace, because as you are seeing, there's a lot of men out there who just want happiness.
I actually agree with her, but I have one issue. I think that single women overrepresent the people who are engaged online. I think being engaged online for women creates FOMO. That is the fear of missing out. And I think once women experience FOMO or feel FOMO and they have an addiction to a level of chaos that they've had to deal with in the past, if they don't find a man that has that level of chaos or that level of just inconsistency. Sometimes there's a level of inconsistency that could be addictive for a woman. They will create that level of inconsistency and chaos and bring it into a man's life. And if you're a man that's created a place of peace for yourself, you're probably not going to deal with that. And I say that because let's just be honest here. If you're a woman and you actually just value peace, you can find a man that can provide you peace, but you probably value things outside of peace, maybe things that have to do with materialism, maybe things that have to do with subjective beauty in a man that you just might not find. And if you don't have those things, you feel a sense of unhappiness because you feel like you deserve those things. And I think that that's a big issue with dating at this age. I think that you have expectations that you didn't have when you were younger because you may be more established. But instead of men dating you, they're just going to date a woman that might be 2 or 3 years younger than you, that might not have that same level of need or want in the world. So I think that there could be an issue on both sides, but what she's saying is absolutely true. If you want to be in a relationship, you have to be able to value peace, because as men get older, that's what we value. Vanity matters, but we understand that women are going to age and they're not going to be as attractive as they were when they were 25. But if you can be the person that can give me peace, you will become more valuable to me than any woman with vanity could ever be. But liking peace means liking discipline, liking consistency. Oftentimes, it's mistaken by women for boredom. But if you want to be in a long-term relationship that flourishes and thrives, routine and being bored is just a part of it. Love ain't just about the excitement. I think sometimes, especially on social media and on television, there's this overemphasis of chaos, and that being the thing that some ladies fetishize about love, the chaos. And real love and consistent love and longevity in love is going to be very peaceful, very consistent, and sometimes very boring, to be quite frank. But very fruitful and also very fulfilling. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's a Help a Brother Out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. Till next time.